Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Faithful to the Traitors, where we are discussing the UK series of the Traitors, Series 2 Twists, and we're still here. Final week. Are you excited for finals week, Alex?
Yes, I saw it was described on BBC iPlayer as the quarter-final tonight.
Yeah. Football chat.
I feel like it doesn't warrant a quarter-final. It's like, you know what I mean? Quarter-finals is more like for X Factor or Strictly or
Drag Race.
Yeah, not the Traitors. Do you know what I mean? It felt like a bit weird when I was on iPlayer and I kind of was having a look at bits and bobs and it came up as the quarter-final. Watch live now, and it was a bit strange.
Yeah.
Anyway, just a side note.
Call it finals week.
Finals week makes sense.
The home stretch. Is that a football pun? I don't know.
Maybe. I also felt like it was kind of like the BBC are making the most of the fact that they've got themselves a bit of a juggernaut here, because like what they used to do on like the last weekend of the Strictly final is like Saturday used to be like the big Strictly final weekend, and then on Sunday they'd have Sports Personality of the Year, which would be a big live event as well. Do you know what I mean? So the BBC and they used to call it like the big weekend, and they'd have like a big and every show that led up to them and every show that was after them, was, apart from Casualty, was like a big deal. And like the lead up to the Traitors was the same as every week up to that, and that is the repair shop. And it's like, yes, it's fine, but come on, you could have promoted another new show. This week was a good time to promote some more new shows.
The Apprentice got a trailer.
I suppose, yes. I suppose they did promote their next big reality show, but nothing's going to matter.
You've got to wait till the final, I think, not the quarter final. On the final, the BBC can do something, but they did some billboards this week.
I mean, the billboards were outstanding. Diane, like, she'd do anything for some pig fizz, and they were fantastic, those billboards they've been releasing. The BBC really have done a great job at promoting this show, and it's shown with the viewing figures. They've released the overnights and the catch-up figures as well, and pretty much only 50% of the people who are watching The Traitors right now are watching it live. But I think, again, I've just call it an inkling, call it a Tracy feeling, but I feel like that they're going to get themselves some huge live ratings this week. People are catching up. I think word of mouth is buzzing again. People are talking about it. They're going into the office next week Monday morning, and they're saying, hey, guess what, Trisha?
Who said, hey, gays?
Hey, gays.
They're going in saying, hey, gays.
Hey, gays.
Guess what?
You want to see something? Do you want to see something camp as hell with Claudia Winkleman? Watch The Traitors. And so I feel like this is the week where we're going to see 7, 8, dare I say, 9 million viewers.
9? I think they were towards the beginning, they were predicting it's going to go up to 7. But, you know, it's already quite close to 7 already, so maybe...
6.5 already, but that's
I'm going to go for 8.
Live. I'm going for 9, because I'm thinking maybe Series 3 they'll get their big ratings. I'm thinking of the John series of Bake Off, when 15 million people watched.
That's true, it can be done.
It can be done. It's still in this day and age where people don't watch, everyone streams everything. In this day and age, like, you can still get one good live show and people will be watching it together. I mean, social media tonight, was absolutely like buzzing as well. Like, you see that very rarely. There's a TV critic, I forget his full name, but Scott
Bright. Sorry, yeah.
He does Radio 5 Live. He's a TV critic. He's on quite often. He's quite he's popular on Twitter as well, on X as well. I'll give you the details how you can get in touch with us, by the way. Also, by the way, I'm Alex. Hi, I'm Faithful.
I said your name. You haven't said mine. I messed up today.
Ben. Are you a Faithful?
I am.
Perfect. So he said...
But Ross isn't.
Don't say it. We've been told off also for doing that, because apparently every podcast has done the same joke.
Well, I wonder if they've done Ross isn't in an Irish accent like I just did.
You should have adjusted the... you should have used AI.
I just do myself. Ross isn't.
You sound like AI as well. You sound like a robot. Ross isn't. Why do you hate me? What was I saying?
Ross.
Scott, he said something. I've completely forgot what I was going to say now, off the thread. But he was saying that it was amazing, like the atmosphere that is on X tonight about this show. It's
nice to have a nice atmosphere on X every now and then.
It is nice. No one seems to be being horrible to one another. Everyone's having a good time, and they're all watching Traitors UK at the same time. And then people from outside the UK are all going, "What's this show you're talking about?" And it's like, nah.
People keep asking us, because you said about linear TV and binging. Yes, we will be binging the American second series.
Yes,
and then we'll be catching up, and then we'll be doing it live every week once we've catched up everyone. So
we'll probably promote it a little bit at the end of this series of the UK Traitors Series 2. But yes, US one is coming next week. Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, I think so.
Am I to say that? So
As long as it doesn't annoy me too much, because it's hard going from UK peak of Traitors to the Americanized Traitors of
Ben's worried.
the trashy cast.
Every now and then Ben sees something online and he mentions it to me, and I'm like, hey, let's just give it a go. We both said the American series wasn't as good as the UK series, but we warmed to it in the end.
Yeah, so Christian helped that along. So
your faith?
No, Christian, the traitor / faithful, nobody knows because I don't really spoilers here.
If you know Christian, the hottie.
He helped us along. So hopefully there's something to help us along.
He popped up on my Instagram this week. I thought myself, I haven't seen him in a long time. He was doing a promotion for some sport brand.
Lovely.
And it was just a video of him getting dressed and then filling up his water bottle.
That's what you need.
It was lovely. So
get in touch.
Get in touch with us. Let us know. This is the week to get in touch with us, because you can give us all your thoughts, your theories, and exactly what's going to happen for the final now. Semi-final, then final, as the BBC would like to pitch it. You can get in touch with us by email, faithfultothetraitors@gmail.com. You can find us on X @TraitorsPodcast or Instagram @FaithfulToTheTraitors. You can watch this podcast. We are in live video, not live video, but we're in video form on YouTube. If you just search Faithful to the Traitors Podcast. If you do find us, don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, and give us a thumbs up so you never miss a future episode, including the American series. If you're listening to us on your favourite podcast app, don't forget to subscribe. People have been giving us very kind 5-star reviews as well. Thank you ever so much. Please keep them coming, because it helps people find the show if they haven't already. And, which Ben will say thank you to everyone right now, to everyone who's been buying us a coffee and sending us some money our way just to help promote the show as well. Just go to buymeacoffee.com/faithful. Just like...
Yes, that's right. I'm just laughing because I moved my feet and I think the cat is under the table. Was that you I just kicked?
No, you didn't kick me.
It definitely was.
I'm going to check. You do that and I'll have a look.
Definitely was the cat. So,
the producer, he's scratching us to make sure we stay on form. That's why I'm talking about anything right
Tamara had brought us coffee. They had said, long-time listener here, going back to Wolford Weekly days.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. I've been loving listening to your debrief after each episode by producer Charlie. Some bonkers for me. My cat's favourite treats.
You heard that, Charlie? You got some treats coming your way.
And Natalie said, thank you so much for being entertaining. You two are hilarious and love the deep delve. Love, love, love. P.S. It was definitely Evie and Zach that Jazz shared his Harry suspicions with, not Ross.
Okay, so I made a mistake and I put my hands up. I was wrong. It wasn't Ross, it was Evie and Zach. I apologise. So thank you to everyone who's gone to buymeacoffee.com/faithful and given us a few silver coins our way. Honestly, it really does help us build this show and helps more people enjoy it too. So I hope if you are enjoying it, you'll be able to help us out. Even if you just give us a retweet or a re-X or whatever they're called now, a repost. Or you just go into we said going to the office. Go in the office the next morning. You've listened to us on your drive, your commute to work, and you've said, God, that's loud.
That Cilla Black sound clip was really loud in my car. Could you turn it down?
That boom from
stuff
my ear.
like that.
If someone asks you, why is your ears bleeding? Oh, that's because I just was listening to Faithful to the Traitors and they had a sound clip which is much louder than the rest of the podcast. You know, that's the kind of stuff we do. So please enjoy that. Anyway, we should talk about the Traitors because we'll get another comment also saying
9 minutes.
9 minutes in and we've not spoken about... Well, we have talked about the Traitors. We talked about the promotion and also about what's been happening. But what's happening this week and this episode is that we all thought that this was going to be it. This was the big moment. This was going to be Ross's revenge. This was going to be a wildfire of revenge and hate and
against the LGBT icon Diane.
Yes,
her death.
And so he was going to try to get Harry committed into people's minds as being a traitor. However, unfortunately for him, he's tried to do it through Jasmine as an ally, and not really an ally you want when Zach is painfully attacking Jasmine at every step of the way, and just going bang, 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 full blown, attack all the time toward her right now.
Because Harry's plan that he had planned out last week about I've got the shield, will say they tried to murder me. It'll be cool, guys.
No one questioned it.
No, they didn't. Well, apart from Ross, who tried to make it a question, but no, everyone's like, no.
Yeah, don't be stupid, Ross. Harry's a good guy. Like everyone, every single person. It's basically what people were saying about Paul. Every single person is immediately saying like, oh no, Harry comes 100% now. He has to be. He has to be a faithful.
It. And And yeah, because Harry's told a few people the night before that he had a shield. So he told Molly, he told Zach and Evie. So I don't think Harry thought about that, because when Zach suddenly was like, well, that means that me, Molly and Evie, we're all faithful because we wouldn't have tried to kill you. And I think Harry was thinking, oh, that's one bit I didn't think he
I don't think Harry had planned that. It was just a
no.
happy coincidence that it actually fell into his lap, that Jasmine, Andrew and Ross were the ones that were left over in the conspiracy. And so Zach instantly again jumped on that immediately, and like a dog with a bone, he was just going on and on and on about Ross. Like he would not let him forget. And
like, he's been playing quite a good game this series, Zach, and I do have been like, I kind of like and don't like him, but this episode he was, even though he was right, he was just really annoying me the way he is with Jasmine. There's like a thing there.
There's an arrogance there. There's a true cocky arrogance there. And the thing is, it's warranted, but at the same time, it's not exactly a characteristic that's very welcome in a situation like this, where you have to show a bit of modesty in order to progress forward. Which is like what Jazz is doing.
I did wonder if we were going to get like they were just going to vote Zach off because he was annoying people. One of those votes where
they got past that, though.
Yeah, I think so. But I did think for a second, I thought maybe they'll be able to do that, but no, he's still with us.
It's weird, really, because like he has been called out, Zach, for fairly reasonable reasons as well by Jasmine and then Ross later on at the round table, for the fact that he is turning every single argument or counterpoint at people as being about him. So it's not like what the group, for the greater group, what people need to think about. It's always about, well, you didn't vote me because of this, you didn't do this because of me, and da-da-da-da. And he's been called out quite rightly by Jasmine as like, you're narcissistic. You're constantly thinking about what
he thinks he's main character.
Yeah, he's constantly thinking about
ensemble.
What he's doing.
Yeah.
But it's working for him because in a weird way.
Yeah, no, he's right some of the time. He's always like half. Yeah.
He said tonight. He said this is the third time I've been right. I keep kicking Charlie. I feel awful. Sorry, Mr. Producer lad. But he is right. He is taking the credit though. It seems a bit funny. Zach seems to be taking a lot of credit for other people's work. Do you know what I mean? It's like he's like cheating. He's like looking over other people's homework and then writing it as his own and then getting a higher grade for it, or believes he's got.
But he's really pally with Harry. So if it does come to the final and Zach is there and he believes Harry, it's going to be quite sweet to see Zach lose out if that is what happens.
Well, I think. And we'll talk about this when we get to the Traitors Tower at the end of the podcast. But I think Zach is on thin ice when it comes to what the decision might be between Andrew and Harry for who's going to be murdered at the end or the beginning of next episode. Because I think Zach has almost been too cocky now and he's played his cards.
Yeah, it's too risky that he's going to then find one of them out, I think. So,
yeah.
But did Ross really have a chance here? Because not even 12 hours, I don't think, until Harry was...
It was less than 24 hours.
Yeah, he was just plotting straight away, and it's like, at this late in the game, it's always hard to be recruited late, but he had a choice. Well, he wasn't forced.
Yeah, Ross, I mean, I think Ross's curiosity...
He was silly.
Like with Andrew, his curiosity got the better of him, and he needed to know who the traitors were. So I think he got what he needed, which is to find out who the traitors were, but he didn't quite go all the way to his master plan, which was to get revenge on his mum.
He didn't plant that many seeds about them. And then towards the end, the only one he could kind of pin it on was Andrew, which seemed a bit unfair. It's like, if you're going to throw a traitor under the bus, at least put Harry under the bus, not Andrew.
Well,
poor guy. Because Andrew was kind of testing the waters of maybe teaming up with Ross, I think. And then maybe getting rid of Harry, because I don't think he trusts him either. But at the round table, at the end, Ross was like... The only option he had was to throw Andrew because of
what he said.
The thing he said. Elusive.
Harry.
See, never used that word before.
Well, no, Andrew didn't understand what the word meant. But then later, kind of, he showed. No one spotted it, but he then kind of showed himself up by being like, "Why would I call Harry elusive? He's not like that at all." So Andrew kind of messed himself up. Ross failed because of this plan, which is that he thought that, like you said, he should have recognised that Andrew was trying to get him on the team, as in at the very least being part of the three traitors. But in the other side of the coin, Andrew's kind of almost teaming up with Ross, knowing that Harry is basically renegade and kind of wanting to do this on his own. But Ross scuppered that plan by then trying to, as he put it, unsettle the traitors by then passing the information on to Harry later, which is a bit like what happened with Paul, but the other way around. Harry shared some information with Jazz. Jazz then shared that information with Paul, and Paul then shared that information to Harry. So it kind of that's already happened, but now this time the information was being shared to Harry from Ross.
Ross should have focused his mission during the day as a find anyone who's a bit suspicious on Harry and do the famous blindside. Well, like you said,
he said it should have been a blindside.
That's what he should have got teamed up. He should have started talking to Jazz. Jazz would, because Jazz is waiting for someone. But I know, but he's waiting for someone to back up his Harry theory, and he doesn't want to say it out loud because he knows that if he says it out loud at the wrong time, he'll get banished. So this could have been the time for Ross and Jazz to team up, get a blindside going, get Zach on team, and blindside Harry.
I mean, because
Jasmine would have done it too.
He's got next week. He's got next episode.
Oh, he has. That's it.
But that's it. That's his last chance now because there's no murder. This is the last murder tonight. There was no recruitment, no murder. That's it now. There's 2 traitors left. The rest of them are going to be faithful, and now they need to hash it out and work out exactly where the last 2 traitors are.
It's 1 murder, 1 banishment, then round.
And then they keep playing until the fire pit. We know the rules of the fire pit. I don't think we need to repeat that. And that's on the final episode, which is on Friday. But tomorrow's episode, Thursdays, or probably when you're listening to this, today's episode, but episode 11. This is Jazz's last chance now to get some sort of form of alliances and consolidate his theory about Harry. Now, he's going to have more chance of getting there if Zach is gone, because Zach is now gunning for Jasmine, which was another reason why they were kind of like, oh, maybe we shouldn't murder Zach tonight, because Zach is pretty much putting things together that he's going to then push Jasmine, which makes their odds even stronger of staying in. Whether Harry keeps Andrew as a traitor, I don't know.
He wants the money.
I think Harry wants to keep the money for himself.
He's gonna. They know there's a traitor, so they're going to have to at least do 1 traitor out before anyone finishes the game.
Well, the only way that won't happen is if they keep voting the faithful out until there's 2 traitors and 1 faithful left.
But Harry ain't going to do that. He's going to take Molly into the final with him because, quote, Harry, not my words, she'll do whatever I tell her.
Yes. Harry, you're really not painting a good making a good pitch of being misogynistic here, mister. But no, I love Harry. He's only a young lad. He's a young lad.
No excuse. Anyway, so I think he's going to use Molly in that way, and he's going to say, Andrew. And she's like, yeah, and then yeah. But I mean, I think Harry's stupid for. Before this all even kicked off, he was like, shall we get rid of Ross tonight to Andrew? All right, first thing.
Ross.
It's like, and it's. Pardon? And it's like, you shouldn't get rid of a traitor now. You should hold the traitor until the last 2 episodes, and then that's when you get rid of them, because there always has to be 2 traitors, not 1 traitor. Because Harry's like, they think there's 1 traitor now. It's like, but when there's 1, you have to recruit. So they know that one of them, I'm going with Jazz, must know that there must be 2 still. Unless they think there's been a rule change.
The thing is, Harry did play I think he did make everyone believe that he was murdered, but because he had the shield, he didn't get murdered.
No, I don't think... the only time you can have 1 traitor is on the last episode. You can't have a 1 traitor before then. You have to have 2.
Because if there was only 1 tonight, then they have to agree to be a traitor, because that's what happened in Series 1 of the UK Traitors. Spoiler alert. I don't think Harry, though, genuinely going right to the top of this episode, I don't think Harry had any intentions, actually, of pushing Ross tonight.
Well, he just saw his name crop up and thought, right, I'll just go for it then.
Everyone was talking about him. He was like literally the very first thing everyone said at the breakfast table before Ross turned up. Like, there was 5 of them, I think, before Ross turned up, and they were all saying Ross. It has to be Ross. The finger pointing of Ross, to begin with, was based on the fact that he defended Paul so heavily which he did. To be fair, he did defend Paul, and then
so did Jasmine.
And they were both found, and Paul was found to be a traitor.
I feel sorry for Jasmine. I want her in the final.
Jasmine, the problem is Jasmine
but I want her.
has defended two traitors now. Unfortunately, Ross, because he said he was a traitor, because he took the invitation, he became a traitor. If he had been a faithful Jasmine would be in a much safer situation now. But now, now he was a traitor. This does really put Jasmine in a hot spot. But it's funny because I think the only one who could push it the most would be Zach. So it'd be interesting to see what they do when it comes to the murder tonight. But no, I really don't think they had any intention whatsoever to get Harry out tonight. I really don't. I think Harry wanted to keep Ross and Andrew in for the next episode, then maybe get a traitor out.
But he said the original plan was to do Jasmine first, but I think, maybe he just saw that his name was coming through and it was too good of a chance to miss, and it happened.
A lot of people I saw on X,
Twitter,
including our friend from the It's Just a Game podcast, Ivan, hello, mentioned the fact that this would have been at the round table, the perfect opportunity to Ross to bring up the fact that Diana was his mum and say, why would I be a traitor? Why would I murder my own mum?
What, when he admitted it, you mean at the end?
Yeah, no, before that. So when they were throwing the accusations, when Zach was throwing the accusations, when Andrew was throwing the accusations, would that be a good opportunity for Ross to have looked up and, do you not think I do?
No, because people will be like, you've been keeping that secret, so what else you keeping? That's what they do, don't they? These faithfuls.
But I think this would be a good one to just throw out all of a sudden and say, look, guys, I couldn't do that. My mum is Diane. I would not. Why would I murder my own mum?
Well, they'd be like, well, you were recruited after.
I don't know.
They don't know who was. They don't know when Miles and that were on, and Miles was before. They know there's been a recruitment.
There's been three recruitments technically, because Miles was recruitment too. But I don't know. I think that would have been a good place to at the very least, that was his last attempt. Like when he was at the round table just before the vote was taking place, it was obvious that everyone was going to be voting for Ross. That could have been his last ditch attempt to really just say, guys, my mum was Diane. I wouldn't have murdered her. It would have made them too suspicious. They would have been like, well, if you keep that secret so easy, what else have you been able to keep? I think that wouldn't have. I don't think that would have changed their minds. I don't know. I don't know if it would change their minds necessarily, but I do think that would have been a play that Ross. It was the one last Joker in his pack, and he should have played it. Yeah. He should have played it. And it, like you say, if it hadn't worked out, then fine, it wouldn't have worked out. But I wonder if there's a small part of Ross's producer brain in there, and he thought, you know what, it would make a bigger bombshell when I go up and say I'm a traitor.
That's true.
Because there was a few people then who did say, like, hang on though, so did he murder his mum? Because I think Jasmine brought it up and said, but hang on, does that mean he murdered his mum? And they did come up a few times. But it's such a shame that Ross really did spoil his chances the moment he went to Harry and confided in him, knowing full well that Harry would have backstabbed him and double-crossed him.
When he told him about Andrew at the kitchen.
Yeah, if he hadn't done that, then Harry wouldn't have had that conversation, wouldn't have made that comment at the round table saying about Andrew, and then there wouldn't have been such concrete evidence, because at that point you could see Ross was scrambling for excuses. Zach sat back. You could see by Zach's posture, he was sat back. He had the chalk in his hand. He was like touching it, like
writing Ross's name already.
Yeah, before, yeah. He was like when people play poker. He had his poker chips in his hand. He had his chalk and that kind of mythology. And by that point, that was it. That was it. And I just think that I agree. I think that it would have been a good one last roll of the dice to say, my mum was Diane. I wouldn't have murdered her. I'm not a traitor. If he'd done it that just without any kind of extravagance, without any kind of bells or whistles, just as plain as day as that would make
people don't like when you've kept something hidden.
The red breakfast.
Exactly.
The red breakfast.
I did wonder as well if that was going to backfire when Harry brought up the elusive comment. It's like, it sounds like two traitors talking about each other. Like, why would someone call someone... I thought that's a bit of a silly move, Harry's, but it didn't backfire. No one seemed to...
No, people did spot it. Molly...
Yeah, but not on to suspect Harry.
No, but to suspect Andrew, Molly brought it up. Molly brought it up when they were having drinks afterwards. Molly brought it up, and Andrew looked a bit, again, panicked and started saying, "Oh no, why would I do that? I wouldn't have said that. That's nothing I would have said." And then they were all kind of like, "Well, actually, going back on your saying, like, people don't like that Ross lied." They could have brought up like, "Well, Ross lied about this and the other." A lot of people did say, "Well, why would have Ross lied about that?" So actually, again, going back, maybe his Diane is my mum, Ross, and could have worked after all. We don't know. But this is this could be Jazz's last opportunity if, of course, he doesn't get murdered.
Yes, because we saw him lifting weights in his black vest. He's the option.
When you got wet in the mud, by the way, during the game, you were squealing.
In slow motion, yeah. Him and Harry, we haven't even talked about the mission. Let's just spend 30 seconds on that.
Zach is an idiot for taking the money with him. Absolute prat.
And I got really upset when Jasmine called him out on it. It's like, and they all of them were like, you would literally say all this stuff if someone else did that. Zach.
Yeah.
So stop. And he looked at Claudia like, please stick up for me. And she didn't, so we love it. But yeah, it was just a mission where they had to answer questions in pairs and they got booby trapped. So they got hung up in the air, fell into mud pits.
The round table one really annoyed me because I was adamant it was the sun in the middle.
Oh, no.
And then
I was looking at it during the discussion. There's the different sizes of the moon all the way around. So
and then it's the crescent at the in the middle.
Sure.
I mean, they did show it also when they revealed the answer. They showed what the answer was.
Yeah, I know, but I was just looking.
You wanted to double check that they were double bluffing you. Yeah, no, I know.
Details. So Jazz is up for murder. Zach, he was just putting his glasses on, looking at himself in the mirror. And the other one, I think it was Molly. But
it was Molly.
Harry basically said it's not going to be Molly, I think.
But should I give you the reasons for why they were picking them and why they were good or bad reasons? I mean, Jazz, they just said that he looks suspicious and sus all the time. So it's probably easier just to keep him there. Zach is good
Too
at working
smart.
out plans, but he is almost the one who's pushing Jasmine out, which would basically make their job easy. Because let's be honest, they are making Harry's job very easy right now because they're just fighting amongst themselves, and Harry's literally just watching from the sidelines and just kind of like
he's finding it hard to even hide his smiles now. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
He at the round table, he keeps having to look down and covering his mouth because he's smiling at. So he's letting his face show. So I hope they're watching.
These are things you should be spotting, Faithful.
I do wonder if Evie is secretly a really good Faithful player, but she's not announcing anything because she seems quite switched on with a lot of things.
Well,
and I'm wondering if she's going to give us a bit of a surprise.
This is where Evie, Jasmine and Jazz are the ones that need to get together, huddle, put their heads together and figure it out. Because I think if those three can figure it out, because Evie was even a little bit suspicious of Zach after the round table tonight, because Zach was like literally vibrating and buzzing with the adrenaline that he got. Also, if you noticed that they were all celebrating and Andrew and Harry were off having a conversation and no one said anything.
Yeah.
It's like, does that not look obvious, you fools? The last one also is Molly, by the way, because they don't think she'll ever get banished. But Harry wants to leave her there, as you said, because she's become too reliant on him.
Yeah.
And so she's an easy prey for him to kind of...
He will not... I saw someone, a comment online where someone said they think he will murder her because he doesn't want to be able to, at the final, to actually steal the money in front of her. He'll feel too guilty. But I think he's going to take her to the final just because he thinks that's a safe end game bet. But there was that one moment, or was it 2 episodes ago, where she did question Harry for one bit VT to camera.
Yeah. She's never done it to the group, but she's done it to the camera a few times.
No.
So that could be. But I think Zach is the obvious one.
I think that would be the best option because if he stays in, I feel like I got hair in my mouth. If he stays in,
was that Jazz?
Could be anyone.
Yeah,
could be any of them, Faithful or Traitor. If Zach stays in, I think he's too dangerous to work stuff out. So I think they should get rid of him because I think Harry thinks Jazz is on his side because Jazz is keeping his Harry theory secret.
But that's because Jazz doesn't say anything to anyone. Jazz is such an enigma in this game.
But it's got him this far. He's not been murdered. So that's you kind of need to do. You need to play a dumb Faithful game because then you don't get murdered because people like Harry think he's a safe bet for me, so I won't murder him.
Is he playing a dumb Faithful game though, or is he genuinely just...
No, because he's got really good theories.
Yeah, but he's not sharing them.
Yeah, that's the dumb Faithful game. He's biding his time. Hopefully he doesn't bide it too long. We'll see.
Series 2, I always forget her name and it's not...
Meryl?
Meryl. Is he the series?
No.
Meryl.
He knows what show he's on.
No, I love Meryl so much. Meryl's amazing.
I love Meryl. I follow her on TikTok.
Oh, do you? Is she up to much?
Yeah, she's doing all sorts. She had Botox for the first time the other day and she took us along.
That sounds fun. I might have a look for that later. So, yes, Zach seems to be the obvious choice. And if that's the case, I think that is the obvious choice for us and for them. But that does give that. I think that's the only way Jazz will have an opportunity to actually sway the group and perhaps get rid of Harry. If Harry does go, I wonder how Andrew will stand up on his own,
or if he'll have to recruit. What the
not at that point, that'll be done.
No.
No.
So what the traitors need to do then? Harry needs to make sure Andrew doesn't get banished. He needs Andrew in the last episode to then at the fire pit to end the game.
Yes.
So he wants to get rid of Jasmine, but who knows?
I don't think Harry has any intentions of getting rid of Andrew. I really at the next episode. I mean, at the banishment, I really don't.
No,
as
you
you
said,
said,
wait till the fire pit.
Yeah, the fire pit, but maybe even before the fire pit. But I think the final, Harry will then go for the kill, go for the jugular of Harry.
Right then, theory times for everyone who's listening.
Yeah,
they've got theories. Send them in.
I mean, we're always asking also for your final 5.
Yeah, we've got a few, so we'll keep them coming in.
Save them for tomorrow, I think, because we've got.
As long as they're not too out of date. They might be out of date now.
That's true. We'll keep the ones that aren't out of date. If you have sent us your final 5 and you want to update it, then please do.
And here's one from Annie, just in case it gets final 5 predictions. Evie, Molly, Zach, Harry, Ross. Out of date. Ross is gone.
Ross is gone. There's no Ross. Ross gone. Send us your final 5 predictions then. faithfultothetraitors@gmail.com. You can go to X @TraitorsPodcast or Instagram @FaithfulToTheTraitors. You can also comment underneath the video. If you're watching us on YouTube, just search Faithful to the Traitors Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, ring the bell, and give us a thumbs up if you're listening so you don't miss an episode in the future. If you're listening to us on your favourite podcast app, don't forget to subscribe and give us 5 stars if you enjoy listening to the podcast. And please give us a comment for why you gave us those 5 stars as well. And if you want to help with the show, don't forget to share us with friends. But also you can go to buymeacoffee.com/faithful and you can throw us a few silver coins our way. Apparently some people have been sending us emails. I can see you're eager to share.
It's just another 5 predictions.
Oh, 5 predictions.
Vince D, who they want in the final. Andrew, Jazz, Molly, Ross, out of date, and Zach. Although I'll be disappointed if Ross does win since he's been wrong all season about everything, brackets, apart from the fact that Diane is his own mother.
No,
So there you go. So send us some stuff in and we'll get it read out.
Yes, absolutely. I've also got a question which I'm going to keep from Instagram. Someone sent us tonight, but I'm going to keep that actually probably for the final, maybe, because it's a kind of like a leading question for the next series, perhaps. But yes, very exciting. So yes, please get in touch with us.
So we will see you all again tomorrow for this. What was it?
The semi-final
for the semis.
That's right, BBC.
And remember to stay faithful. I love it. Bye.